What are some of the things that you can do to support your child's social skills? One is to be a positive role model. The number one thing that kids need as they're developing their ability to interact with others is a positive role model to support their social development. Kids aren't born knowing how to interact with other kids or with adults, and they need strong role models to help them navigate the difficulty of social interactions. Parents are their first and most important teachers. Parents can also coach their kids' interpersonal interactions with others. If parents have a hard time controlling their emotions, maybe they can practice their own self regulation so that they can become an effective coach for their kids. In order to respond to kids instead of reacting, parents can begin to count to 10 before responding to kids. They can use calm breathing strategies, like breathing in through their nose and out through their mouth. They can tell their kids in a calm voice that they're upset and they need a moment to calm down before they respond. And this can be a great way to model just that stopping before they react. Of course, showing unconditional love and acceptance of our kids. Parents who help kids feel safe and unconditionally loved are well on their way to supporting kids. Parents can do this, by spending time with them every day, just 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the afternoon, and 3 minutes in the evening before bed. Focus time with that attention for each child can be so powerful for kids and knowing how much they're loved. Let them know how happy you are that they're your kids and how much they add to your life. Be present emotionally, be available and interested in your child and whatever's important to them. If you're not in the mood to talk with them right now, you might say something like, I'm not able to be present emotionally to finish this conversation right now. Maybe we can talk later today, or maybe even tomorrow. Your ability to show your child that it's okay to be too emotional or not ready to talk about a topic, to recognize that emotion and be wise enough to say that you need time to calm down or to have the energy to talk about it is important for your child. And being okay when your child also needs to take time to calm down before talking is important. One way to support kids developing social skills is to label, validate, normalize, and discuss their feelings. You don't have to accept their negative behaviors, but being there to tell kids what you think it is, what feeling you think they're experiencing, validate that feeling, that you can see why they would feel this way, normalize it for them. Yeah, of course you're mad. You didn't get invited to the play, or you're sad because you didn't get invited to the play. And then talk about those feelings with your child. Having a parent or another adult talk about feelings helps kids understand that everybody has feelings. And feelings are not right, they're not wrong, they just are. It's what they do with their feelings, their behaviors, that's important. And there are better and worse ways to respond behaviorally. So we can talk to our kids about their behavioral responses afterward, after we've validated how the child is feeling. When kids express strong emotions, recognize those feelings, label what you think they're feeling, and empathize with what they're feeling. You seem really upset that Jim ignored you. I'm sorry he did that. I would be upset too. We don't have to fix it. We can just show empathy for whatever it is our kids are experiencing when they're experiencing these strong emotions. Make sure you have clear rules and consequences, and make sure they're reasonable for your child's abilities. You might even involve your child in making those rules and consequences. And of course, once you have rules and consequences, you want to follow through. You want to be consistent in making sure that you enforce your rules and always follow through. So, what do I mean by use encouragement instead of praise? Parents should focus on the process of kids' actions, not the final product. You spent a lot of time deciding how to draw your picture. What were you thinking about? This is actually an encouraging statement for kids. Instead of saying something like, "What a beautiful picture," or "What a good girl you are." That's praise, and that kind of just stops the conversation. And when you focus on the end product and you put your judgment on it, you condition your child to look to other people's opinions about their work instead of getting to think for themselves about what they think about something. Ask your child what they think about what they've done instead of you telling them how great it is. Or just notice something about what they've done. "Oh, you used a lot of blue in your painting. Tell me about that. You picked the orange car this time. What made you want that one instead of the one your brother has? You set the table for us. Thank you. I appreciate you helping out around the house. What made you decide you wanted to help?" All of these are ways to use encouragement instead of praise. Praise kind of stops the conversation, and encouragement can open up hearing more from your child and getting to understand more about what's important to them or what they're thinking. We want to give your child support to calm down. We can talk to them about the strategies they use to calm down. Empathize with how hard it can be to calm down when you're upset. Ask them what they can do to calm down when they're upset. What strategies do they use? You might share what you use when you are feeling really upset. How do you calm yourself? And, you know, when your child is developing these strategies, you might practice them when things are going well so that when the things are hard, kids might be more likely to be able to use them. Then we want to support kids' problem-solving abilities. We can support kids' ability to problem solve together with another child when they're having a conflict. You can approach them calmly and, ask what's happening. You might, if they're fighting over a toy or something, then you might ask if you can hold it while you talk about it together. Um, what we want to do is ask each child what happened. You might say, "I see you're both really upset. What's happening?" And just you asking calmly can help them begin to calm down. When they tell you what they're upset about, repeat what each child tells you and describe how you think they're feeling to see if you got it right. And, find out from both kids what they're upset about, what their experience was. And then ask them what they can do to solve their problem. Let each child have a suggestion. Repeat their suggestions. And if you have another one, say, "Oh, I also have an idea." And then say what your idea is. Ask which suggestion they might like to implement. If they disagree on what to implement, you might have them keep brainstorming until they come up with a compromise that they both can agree on. Later that day, you might talk about the issue again and talk about what they did to each other. Ask how they can avoid hurting each other in the future. What could they do instead? It's so hard when your child is defiant, but you might use intentional strategies to deal with it. First of all, you want to set them up for success. Let them feel your unconditional love by spending quality time with them every day. Notice that when they do what you ask them to do, and just a simple thank you will do. When possible, let them have control in decision making, what to wear or what to do first. Give them reminders before changing activities. So instead of ordering your kids to do something, you might ask how you would like somebody to ask you. It's time to pick up our toys now. Please put them in the toy box. So these strategies might actually help reduce defiance, but it's also normal for kids to be defiant sometimes. How you respond is important. First of all, it might push your buttons. So take a deep breath and respond calmly but firmly. I don't like it when you talk to me that way. Please use your respectful voice. Remind your child of the rules. And if your child continues to refuse, gently and firmly support them. If you can't do this by yourself, I can help you until you learn how to do it. Be consistent and follow through on your rules. And that can decrease the amount of defiance that your child shows towards you. Make your home a place that your child wants to be. Make it a safe, secure place for all of your children. Don't let your home be a toxic environment with negative emotion, ambiance, or behavior. Your home is your castle, and you're in charge of how it feels. Make it a place of calm, safety, and acceptance for who your child is. You can remind everybody to use kind words, gestures, and behaviors toward others, and thank them for keeping your home safe for everybody.